It's Flightmare, Part 2. Passengers brace for another week of travel headaches as airlines desperately try to get back on track after thousands of cancellations. Since December 23rd, more than 24,000 flights have been grounded. Nearly half of those have been with Southwest Airlines alone. And many of those passengers still don't have their luggage. So can you blame the airlines? I said this the other day when I was sitting in for Greg on the 5.
Yes.
I want to blame the airlines. If I were in an airport, I'd be screaming at Southwest. But the federal government ruined the airline industry during COVID. So I can see that people are mad at Southwest Airlines, but I think they should be mad at the government, Joe.
Well, how do you think, let me answer your question with a question. How do you think the government destroyed
We'll just
the
go
airlines?
back and forth, keep asking questions.
Yeah, well, the shutdowns. I mean, they destroyed the country. They shut down our economy, and they ruined the airline business. They ruined all businesses, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a function of that, is it not?
Here's where everything went wrong, and this happens so often, right, when it comes to government and spending. They threw $7 billion, with the B, dollars at Southwest and said, have fun. It's not like there was any accounting after the fact, like, oh, by the way, what are they doing with that money? Is that for executive raises? Is it for paying off folks that may be retiring and like, all right, here's a nice package? Or was it put towards what it should have been put towards, which is called redundancy in technology, where if your system goes down, you have a backup that's right there. And oh, by the way, you're using a system from probably 1985, because I was at the airport like 2 weeks ago. What are they typing for 5 minutes when I give them my name and my license?
Clickety-clack.
Want the ticket. That's it. So they didn't upgrade their systems, and that's why Southwest is going through this. And most airlines are not. They didn't spend the money where they should have, Tom.
Yeah, like you can't even say airlines. It's really just Southwest. I mean, they're the vast majority of the flights that have been canceled. And the reality is, yeah, they got $7 billion from us, taxpayers, from the government. But they also made a profit in 2021 of $116 million. They're the first airline to become profitable since the pandemic as well. So they had the money, and they knew that the antiquated scheduling system was a problem, because you even have the Southwest Pilots Association saying, look, we've been warning them, right? We've been telling executives that this is a problem. This was ultimately going to happen, and then it did. So between the money from us, the taxpayers, and the fact that they were profitable, they really have no excuse. So, yeah, I'm always game to blame the government. Trust me, like, I'm no fan of the government.
I'll put it out there for you, Lisa.
I'll hit it. But, I got you, Tom. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But I also think that we got to blame Southwest as well. And they're already saying, look, we know that our profits are in trouble next quarter, right? So we'll see what happens with that.
Emily, look at this Andrew Sorkin tweet from CNBC. Until airlines start advertising crying babies in first business class next to someone trying to work or sleep, rather than the ads we see of Serenity, I can't support kids up there. He doesn't want kids in first class, Emily.
And then he says, I say this as a parent of 3. My favorite was the internet just rose to the occasion and just roasted him, with everyone being like, you're the biggest baby of them all, bud. How about noise cancellation headphones? I will say that an airline, I believe it's Malaysian Airlines, did actually set this policy to great protestations from the rest of the country, but they actually kept it, and people are flying on it. And I think the reality is that families and humans are allowed anywhere where you can pay for it. So yes, is it disruptive? Sure. But, an hour disruption for us, I can't imagine what those poor parents go through who live with that screaming baby.
I'm sorry. I don't trust anybody with 3 names, this Andrew Ross Sorkin, but I agree with him on this. All right?
What?
You don't want the babies up there.
All right. I'll
Joe
tell you
doesn't
a really quick story. All right? So I go to spring break in Florida, and it snows.
Go on.
All right? So I said the next year, I'm going to
had me at
Cancun.
spring break.
Going to Cancun, right? So I get to the airport, and like out of a movie, they say, we're going to upgrade you to first class for free. I'm like, this is awesome. So I go to first class. I got a screaming baby next to me all the way to Cancun. And I said, you know what? I'm sorry. If you pay that kind of money, you can't have screaming kids up there.
Well,
all right? Just like I like the adult pool, the kid pool when you go on vacation. Separate, baby. I need tranquility.
I think when people go to spring break, Lisa, they should have a screaming baby to remind them that there are consequences for spring break activity.
And then there's consequences as well.
Well, real quick, I upgraded to first class recently. It was $60. So I was like, why not, And the woman next to me was so drunk. She could not have been nicer. But somehow she managed to take the headrest off of her seat. And then the poor flight attendant came over, and she was like, don't worry, this happens all the time. And I'm sitting here being like, don't think that's the case. But But yeah, she was really nice. It wasn't like she was belligerent, but I don't know. Somehow a lot of strength there, I guess.
It's all the time.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.